Hey Muses, welcome back to my channel. Sarah here. Today I'm going to be testing DIY fire starters versus purchased fire starters. I got this idea because fire starters are very helpful at starting fires, obviously. And I was kind of curious. I saw a bunch of DIY fire starter videos on YouTube, and then I have seen hikers sponsor other fire starters before. I was kind of interested in maybe the difference between them. So what I did is I made 3 different DIY fire starters. All of them share one aspect of the fire starter DIY kits, and that is they have a cardboard base. So some of them I used egg cartons, and the other ones I used toilet paper holders, which you could also do paper towel holders. The toilet paper or egg carton serves as my cardboard base for all of my DIYs. And then the second part of each one is sort of like the flammable bit that sort of starts the fire. So I used 2 different types of material. I used dryer lint, which everyone gets. It's really easy to access, and I use little shaved bits of stick that I shaved off of some local wood. And then the third part of every single DIY fire starter I saw, well, for the most part, was wax. So I melted a candle I had laying around, and I poured some of that wax into the fire starter. And then I kind of closed it up with the rest of the cardboard. And there we have it. The great thing about all of the DIY fire starters I found is that they are super easy to make at home with things you already have laying around. Like egg cartons, a lot of people eat eggs. If you don't eat eggs, who doesn't have a toilet paper roll or paper towel roll laying around, or easy access to them at least? And then dryer lint, everyone has dryer lint or can get access to that. The one thing I would say about the scraps of wood is you need to be a little more careful about that, because you don't want to bring in wood from a different area. So if you are going to travel for your camping trip, for example, you don't want to make those fire starters out of wood from your area, because wood from outside areas can bring in pests or diseases and sort of ruin these beautiful places we go camping to see. So definitely a big caveat with that. Be careful with the wood scraps, if that's even any good. We'll see. And then I have 3 different fire starters that I purchased off of Amazon. I have these little simple fire starters, tiny things of cotton, and you rip them apart, and that's your fire starter. The second type is a putty. It's called pyro putty, and it's like a waxy material, and you pull it out and rip it apart, and that is your fire starter. And then the third one is basically just a rope. You fray the rope a little bit, and that is your fire starter. I am going to be looking at all of these. There are so many mosquitoes out here. Mosquitoes, I hate them. Anyway, so basically how I'm gonna measure which one's better is looking at how long the fire lasts. So some of them say up to like 15 minutes. I don't know how accurate that is, so I'm gonna time them. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go grab all of my fire starters and some bug spray, because this is completely ridiculous. Okay, so I got it all set up, and I'm going to go get a bucket of water just in case anything happens. First impressions, right? That rope, that seems like a lot. I don't know if that's like kind of unfair to that, but so it goes. All of the DIY ones I'm honestly pretty optimistic about, and I'm excited to see how they perform compared to the ones I bought. So super exciting. Let me go get some water just for safety's sake, and yeah, let's start some fire. Okay, so we have all 3. This one is the toilet paper with lint. This is an egg carton with lint. This is egg carton with little bits of stick. This is the smallest little fire starter. It's just basically like a little cotton round. This is the pyro putty, and this is the big old rope. So got my phone here to time everything. Got a big bucket of water to make sure nothing bad happens. And let's go. Okay, so I don't know if you guys saw them, but all of the DIY ones lasted longer than any of the purchased ones, which is saying a lot, I think. I had higher expectations for the purchased ones, but hey, what you gonna do? Those DIY ones were, if you wanted to buy one, I would probably recommend the Pyro Putty. That was definitely the easiest one to kind of handle. It's really compact. It came in that little tin, and it was really easy. You just pulled out like a little few fingers full and ripped it apart a little extra, and that was that. The little plugs I used, those were too lightweight, kind of finicky. It was just like slightly annoying, and you saw they fell off the rock anyway. I put the rock there just in case it needed something else to burn on, because it like would fall through the grates. And then the rope, I had high hopes for that rope, and it really disappointed me. It was big, easy to rip apart. Obviously it looked like good material, but then when I went to catch it on fire, it wouldn't catch. I think that's kind of a deal breaker. If you're supposed to be a fire starter, you better freaking catch. With that being said, with all of the DIY ones, I was super impressed, super happy with all of them. But I do still have some notes. I will say the one made out of the toilet paper roll was a little harder to catch fire, but once it did, it went off just as well as any of the other ones. In fact, that was the one that lasted the longest. It lasted for about 12 minutes. And the one with an egg carton and lint was the first to go out of all the DIY ones. It lasted about 8 minutes. The one in an egg carton with little sticks in it lasted about 10 minutes. So, I mean, they're all in the 8 to 12 minute range, which I think is pretty good. Like, if you're looking for a quick fire starter, you should already have like some small twigs and stuff set up, and you light this underneath it. And so 8 minutes should be plenty of time if you already have a little setup going on to get your fire started. So I think all of these are great options. I think in terms of overall simplicity and ease of making, I would say my number one pick would be the egg carton and dryer lint. And that is because with the egg carton, you can make 12 at once. It's really easy, and dryer lint is super easy to get no matter where you are. And on top of that, you don't have to worry about bringing in pests and insects from somewhere else when you cut the wood. Another perk is you can't hurt yourself when you cut the wood. Not that I did that. I literally just cut myself. Be careful. I'm so stupid. That way you don't attract any unwanted critters to your campsite. I'll probably do a DIY video for my favorite one, just because I am amazed at how well the DIYs did. It sounds fun. So I'll probably do that before the end of the year, maybe not. I have some videos in the pipeline, so we'll see. But I will definitely make a how-to DIY fire starter at some point. It's really exciting, and yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. This was super fun to make and I really enjoyed it. And I hope you did too. And I will see you next week. But before then, make sure you get out there, okay? Get out there. Bye.